Imagine that with just 2 words, you could completely transform your life, rewrite your destiny, and unlock the infinite power that has always resided within you. These words are, I am, and according to Christian metaphysics, they represent the key that connects your consciousness to the divine presence, the creative force that shapes all existence. In I am vertical bar, the 2 words that rewrite your destiny, based on the teachings of Emmett Fox, you will explore how the power of conscious affirmation can dissolve limitations, attract abundance, and manifest a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Every word you speak, every thought you focus on, has the potential to reshape your reality and align you with the divinity within you. Prepare for a transformative journey. Open your mind, listen with your heart, and allow these simple yet powerful words, I am, to awaken the force within you that can change your entire destiny. We are about to cross a threshold of the spirit. This is not esoteric knowledge, nor an ancient doctrine erased by priests in shadowed chambers. No. The most powerful secret of the universe is right here before you, in the simplest word you have spoken since childhood, I am. For centuries, religions have shrouded the name of God in mystery, fear, and superstition. They forbade it from being spoken aloud. They built walls of blind reverence. They turned the name into a talisman rather than a key. But today I invite you to discover that the name of God is not a word to be worshipped from afar. It is a living power that you must learn to use here and now. Why was this secret hidden? Because knowledge of the name is at once the most dangerous and the most liberating. Whoever understands its power ceases to be a slave and becomes a creator. Whoever ignores its function repeats phrases that condemn them to failure, illness, and limitation, without ever knowing why. Thus, superstitious reverence and fear of offending God have been confused with a scientific understanding of the name. The truth is far simpler and far bolder. Every time you say I am, you invoke the same creative principle that appeared in the burning bush before Moses. Exodus 3. 1 is the starting point. I am who I am. Here there is no God hidden in the heavens, no magical formula reserved only for prophets. Here there is a principle, a signature, a living act of existence. The burning bush, unconsumed by fire, is the image of your illuminated consciousness, the eternal fire of a presence that cannot be destroyed. Every time you say I am in thought, word, or feeling, you set that power in motion. It matters not whether you know it or believe it, the law operates. The tragedy of humanity is using the name to declare poverty, illness, loneliness, and smallness. I am weak, I am incapable, I am sick. Thus, unknowingly, we summon the creative force to forge our own chains. The universe listens, the mind obeys, life responds. The greatest sin is not to blaspheme against a distant God, but to use the holy name to decree falsehood, limitation, and fear. Let me warn you, this knowledge is neither a game nor superficial comfort. It is the secret that can give you wings or chain you forever. Everything depends on your responsibility. Just as fire can give warmth or destroy, so the name on your lips can be a key to freedom or a tool of self-destruction. I have seen entire destinies change through an I am spoken consciously. I have seen illness yield to I am health, poverty transform under I am abundance, loneliness dissolve before I am love. This is not magic nor mere optimism, this is law, always faithful, always exact. Let us begin this sacred journey together. Before we move forward, pause and perform this spiritual exercise. Divine principle that I recognize the holiness of the name. I commit to using I am only to affirm truth, goodness, and light. I now purify my thought and my word. I am responsible, I am conscious, I am free. Prepare yourself. What you are about to learn can transform your life forever. Do not regard the name as a mere spectator. Use it, but use it with humility, with faith, and with the absolute respect that the key to all power deserves. So it is, so shall the holy name be upon your lips. Based on the teachings of Emmett Fox, we have noticed that over 80% of those who visit our channel are not subscribed. You can support this project by pressing the subscribe button and liking the video. Thank you for inspiring us to continue creating more and better content for you. Are you ready to transform your life? Chapter 1. I am the name above all names. Nothing exists under the sky or upon the earth that possesses power equal to the revealed name I am. Just as a seed contains the potential of the entire tree, So these two words, so simple to the ear, enclose the ultimate secret of the universe, the center around which all that is visible and invisible revolves. There is no greater mystery, no higher power. The person who understands even partially the meaning of I am is no longer a beggar wandering among shadows, but a child at home, in harmony with themselves and with destiny, because they recognize truth, and truth recognizes them. Let me take you to the primordial moment, to that dawn of consciousness when Moses, shepherd of flocks and seeker of meaning, beholds the burning bush that is not consumed. There, between the fire and the voice, the mystery is revealed that centuries have tried to confine in rites, dogmas, and empty words. Moses asks, "What is your name?" And the answer pierces through history, through time, through flesh and spirit. It declares itself, "I am who I am." It does not say, "I was," or "I will be," nor is it a title or a description. It affirms existence itself, pure presence. Pause and observe. At this point, the wavering mind wants to reduce the miracle to something familiar. It seeks a label, a figure, a preconceived idea, but the name cannot be contained in images. It cannot be confined to a limited belief. I am is being without adjectives. It is absolute life, independent of form or circumstance. Here lies the fundamental difference between revealed truth and the many superstitions that have obscured human understanding. We are not speaking of a personal name, a tribal god, or a distant capricious power. We are speaking of being itself, the principle behind all form, the intelligence that asserts itself in every atom and every thought. Now, why is God revealed to us through the formula I am? Because there is no other way to know God than through the direct experience of consciousness. No human has ever seen God as an external figure. All true contact occurs in the inner sanctuary, in the silence where the voice arises that is beyond words. When you say, even unconsciously, I am, you declare yourself existent, alive, present. In that instant, without embellishment, you stand on the very threshold of divinity. You have touched, even unknowingly, the edge of the mantle of absolute being. Consider how often each day you utter these two words. I am happy, I am sad, I am capable, I am limited. Each time you do, you activate the creative power of God within you. You channel it, direct it, shape it. And here lies both the tragedy and the glory of human existence. Because if you ignore the power of your declaration, you may proclaim your own exile. I am weak, I am poor, I am unworthy. In doing so, you close the doors to abundance, health, and freedom, not because God punishes you, but because you have used the holy name to bind yourself in thoughts of limitation. Is it not astonishing that the most sublime revelation has been deposited not in the marble of temples, but in the clay of your daily life, in the words you use without thinking? Do you not see that the supreme secret has always been within your reach, so close that you overlooked it? Like a peasant sleeping atop a chest of gold without realizing it, humanity lives upon the treasure of I am, yet begs for scraps in the marketplace of appearances. Hear this. There is no other name that fully expresses God. All titles, all attributes, all images are reflections, flashes, mere shadows of being itself. When Jesus, many centuries after Moses, declared before the doctors of the law, before Abraham was I am, he did not refer to his human persona, but to the divine consciousness that knows no time, that is eternally present. In those words, Jesus affirms the eternal personal principle, the unique life that pulses in every creature. He does not claim a monopoly on the divine, but reveals the affiliation of all human beings with the principle. This is why open hearts understood, and hardened hearts were scandalized. Here it is necessary to untangle a knot that has confused generations, the difference between the human ego and the divine I am. The ego is the belief in a separate, limited identity, born from memory, culture, and temporal experience. The ego says, I am John, I am poor, I am inferior or superior, and builds castles of sand upon this foundation. The divine I am, on the other hand, is the absolute affirmation of being, without addition or subtraction. It does not identify with personal history, the body, or circumstances. It is the very root of your existence. As long as you cling to the identity of the ego, you will live in insecurity, fear, and endless seeking. When you recognize yourself as an expression of I am, you begin to experience the freedom, peace, and power that have always belonged to you. Do not think, please, that this is distant philosophy or cold metaphysics. It is the practical secret of all transformation. If you learn to identify with the pure I am, without contaminating it with qualifiers of limitation, you will discover that life responds differently. I will illustrate this with a simple parable. Suppose you possess a marvelous lamp. If every time you rub it you ask for misery, scarcity, or illness, that is what appears, not because the lamp is faulty, but because you have programmed it so. If instead you affirm, I am abundance, I am health, I am peace, the lamp responds faithfully. So simple, so profound. The eternal present of I am is a master key. The human mind is trapped most of the time in the past or the future. It says, I was this or I will be that, but being has no past nor future, it is always now. When you affirm I am, you cancel all slavery to time. The past no longer binds you, the future no longer unsettles you. Here and now, power is available. If you know how to name it correctly, I propose a silent exercise of utmost importance. Sit, breathe calmly, and repeat inwardly, I am, I am, I am, without adding anything. Allow the mind to rest in that pure presence. At first, the mind will resist, seeking to add something, but persist. Gradually, you will feel the difference between the noise of the ego and the fertile silence of being. That silence is the voice of God within you. There, without words, resides all answer. Another exercise during the day. Observe every time you use I am. Ask yourself, from where am I speaking? From the limited ego or from absolute being? If you catch yourself using the holy name in vain, declaring illness, fear, or scarcity, stop and correct it immediately. No, that is not true. I am life, I am health, I am fullness. In this way, you will gradually re-educate your consciousness, and life will respond accordingly. Make it clear, this is not about turning the human ego into a god, nor about recklessly affirming impossible things from pride. It is about recognizing that the only true I am in you is God expressing itself as your own existence. This truth is so revolutionary it can frighten, yet it is the only one that liberates. There is no competing I am in the universe. There is only one, manifesting in infinite forms. This is why you can love your neighbor. You recognize them as another expression of the same being. You may ask, what gain is there in this? Why insist so much on the eternal present of I am? Because all healing, all prosperity, all peace, and all illumination depend on this recognition. When you accept that you are a child of God, that the I am within you is identical to the creative principle, everything changes. You no longer live begging for love, health, or meaning. You act from the inexhaustible source. Prayer ceases to be supplication and becomes affirmation of what is real. I close this chapter with a simple affirmation, yet full of power. Repeat it with me, not as a magic formula, but as recognition of truth. I am what God is. I am life, intelligence, love, power. I am here and now one with the principle. Nothing separates me from good, for I am good in manifestation. So be it. Allow these words, spoken consciously, to take root in your mind and heart. Do not rush. Let the mystery reveal itself from within, like the dawn light that cannot be hurried. Sow the name, and you will reap life. This is law, and this law is the supreme gift of I am. Chapter 2, the divine seal on your lips, the creative power of I am. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. There is no truer phrase, no deeper revelation. All creation begins in the Word. But there is a superior word, a secret formula, a key that, often without knowing it, humans repeat every day. I am. Pause here, take a moment. Marvel at the wonder. The most powerful prefix in any language, in any culture, in any age, it is I am. No matter the tongue, the tradition, or the continent, the act of affirming one's own existence, of pointing to living presence, always carries that divine formula at its root. And everything that follows after the utterance of I am takes on life, receives the breath of mental creation. This is not distant doctrine nor mystical fantasy. It is the mechanics of law, the law operating in you at every instant, whether you will it or not. Do you know why this is so? Because God, the principle, being itself, can only be known as actual existence. Everything that exists, everything that was created, came into manifestation through affirmation. Life is affirmation, truth is affirmation. Error and limitation, though illusory, also demand existence in the same way, even if they lack foundation in the principle. The I Am is the channel through which the pure energy of God flows into form. Now, when you open your mouth and say, I am, it matters not whether you whisper or speak aloud, in silence or before a crowd. You are signing a decree. The entire universe, your subconscious mind, and invisible forces receive that order and execute it with the precision of natural law. I am is the decree. What follows is the mold, the design, the seed that will bear fruit for good or ill. Do you see the simplicity and the gravity? Here lies both power and responsibility. You cannot say, I am, and then excuse yourself, claiming it was a joke or not meant seriously. The subconscious distinguishes not between jest and decree. What you plant with the name that you shall harvest. Such is the law of the mind. What you declare as I am manifests, sooner or later, stronger or weaker, but it will manifest. If you declare I am weak, even out of habit, resignation, or to please your environment, your body and circumstances will respond. If you say, I am capable, even if barely believing it, and maintain it with perseverance, life will open paths where once there were only walls. It is impossible to affirm something repeatedly with the holy name and not see its manifestation in some degree. Allow me to illustrate. Imagine a king whose royal seal turns every proclamation he signs into law. If he uses that seal to declare poverty, misery, or fear, even unwillingly, the law is executed. So it is with your I am. Your mouth is the pen, your word is the seal, your life is the decree. Did you know that many have sealed their destiny with I am declarations made at random? A woman says, I am a sick person. That's who I am. Another proclaims, I am incapable of achieving this. I never succeed. Over time, body and circumstances obey. Sometimes generations repeat decrees of poverty, inferiority, and suffering until the entire family lives under the yoke of those words. Is this divine punishment? No. It is impersonal law responding to the use of the name. What you plant, you harvest. It is not a matter of merit. It is a matter of sowing. Here, a subtle and powerful distinction is needed. The difference between description and decree. Saying I am sick describes a temporary state, an apparent condition. Saying I am sick affirms illness as identity. It invites it to stay. It grants it citizenship in your life. The first is a photograph, the second is a decree. The principle does not respond to photographs, only to decrees. Therefore, even when facing difficulty, never declare it as your identity. You may acknowledge a symptom, but never affirm with the holy name that you are that limitation. Have you ever caught yourself saying in resignation, I am this way, nothing can change? Have you heard others justify defects, fears, or failures declaring, I am impatient, I am clumsy, I am hopeless? That is the deadly trap. The I am distinguishes not between human honesty and reality. The law only recognizes the seed delivered and makes it bear fruit. You may say, but I was only being honest, acknowledging my limitations. Honesty is virtuous, but honesty with error is the worst trap. It is not about denying facts, but about not granting them the rank of identity. A man who says, I am poor, is not being honest. He is decreeing poverty. You may recognize an obstacle, but never carry it into your heart as identity. Take a lesson from life itself. A river may be blocked by stones, yet its nature is still to flow. If it declares, I am stagnant water, it stagnates. If it affirms, I am water in motion, it seeks and finds the way out, even through the most unexpected path. Let me tell you a real case. A young man came to me convinced of his failure. He repeated, like a dark mantra, I am a failure. I always have been. We changed the decree. I taught him to affirm, even amid discouragement, I am success, I am capable, I am guided by divine intelligence. At first, he felt he was lying, but the law does not respond to fleeting emotion, only to the constancy of the decree. Within weeks, his life began to change, new opportunities, renewed energy, different friendships. The cause was the change of declaration. I propose an essential practice for 7 days. Carry a notebook and record every time you use I am. Do not judge yourself, just observe. At the end of the week, you will clearly see the pattern of your daily decrees. What kind of life are you ordering? What destiny are you sealing? Also, make a list of the most common destructive I am statements. I am foolish. I am weak. I am old. I am ugly. I am miserable. Beside each, write its correct replacement. I am wise. I am strong. I am young in spirit. I am beautiful. I am blessed. The law is simple. Never use the name to sign a falsehood about your divine nature. Make the guardian of your lips your ally. Before speaking, I am followed by limitation. Pause. Ask, do I truly wish to create this? Do I recognize the Christ within me? If the answer is no, remain silent or choose a truthful affirmation. If you err, correct immediately. No, that is not true. I am a child of God. I am perfect. Commit here and now to never again use the name to declare limitation. This is not a vain promise. It is the beginning of your liberation. If you fall, rise. If you forget, remember. But never voluntarily profane the name with decrees of misery. At the close of this chapter, join me in this spiritual exercise. Father, Principle of Life, I recognize in me the power of the holy name. I renounce using I am to affirm limitation, fear, or error. From today, whenever I declare I am, I affirm truth. I am health, I am peace, I am intelligence. I am fullness. Seal my lips and mind with your light. Make me conscious, make me responsible, make me free. So it is, and so it shall be. Each word you speak is a seed. Every seed sprouts. Every I am is the King's decree in his kingdom. And remember, the kingdom of God is within you. You decide what you create. You are the divine seal on your own life. There is no greater secret, no greater power than this. Chapter 3. What you are not. Denying the lies of the ego. From childhood, human beings search for an identity. They want to know, who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? But in that quest, we almost always stumble upon distorting mirrors. The world, family, culture, the body, and experiences hand us masks, labels, and roles. Soon, the child born free learns to respond to the call of borrowed names. I am shy, I am useless, I am poor, I am inferior, I am this, I am that. Unknowingly, the child accepts and speaks the most dangerous lie, that the child of God is a limited, fearful being, defined by passing circumstances. The ego, the master of illusion, whispers each day a fragile, diminutive identity. Today, it is necessary to begin a sacred and radical task, to disprove one by one all those beliefs, not to deny human experience, but to put each thing in its proper place. We are not what we appear to be, not what the world imposed on us, nor what pain made us believe. The first teaching is this: the human personality is not the true I am. It is a collection of memories, habits, emotions, customs, and beliefs that have accumulated over the years like layers of paint over the original canvas. The divine I am is the canvas. The personality is merely the colors that cover it. Look closely at your life. How often have you said or thought with resignation, I am this way, I am impatient, I am too old, I am incapable, I am my past, I am my mistakes. Every time you accepted that sentence, you surrendered the throne of your being to the small ego. But these statements are not truth. They are habits, impressions, layers that can and must be removed if you wish to know freedom. Ask yourself, what remains when you deny everything you can see, touch, remember, or describe? You still exist. Of course, the true I am remains unchanging behind all forms and changes. The Bible makes it clear. Do not conform to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Romans 12:2. Transformation is not adding more to your identity, but removing what you are not. The list of what you are not is long but necessary. You are not your body, though you live in it and care for it. You are not your age, though you mark it on your calendar. You are not your gender, though society may demand conformity. You are not your nationality, though you honor your culture. You are not your profession, though you perform it diligently. You are not your relationships, though you love and are loved. You are not your past, though memories may seem etched into your story. You are not your wounds, your failures, or your mistakes. You are not your achievements, diplomas, or titles. You are not your roles, father, mother, child, spouse, friend. You are not your religion, though you walk in faith. You are not even your ideas or emotions, for they change from moment to moment. All this is true on the plane of experience, but false as essential identity. You are, and have always been, the divine I am, eternal, without accidental attributes. But to reach the essence, the cup must be emptied before it can be filled. Just as a sculptor must remove excess marble to reveal the hidden figure, so must you shed false beliefs to allow the inner Christ to shine unimpeded. Do not fear. This is not rejecting your humanity, fleeing to the desert, or despising your story. It is about refusing to give them defining power, not chaining your being to accident, not worshipping the shadow while forgetting the light. I invite you to the ancient practice of neti neti. Not this, not this. A simple and powerful technique. Sit in silence and begin saying to yourself, I am not my body. I am not my age. I am not my name. I am not my emotions. I am not my nationality. I am not my profession. I am not my history. I am not my fears. I am not my success. I am not my failure. Continue each day denying one false identity. Do it without hatred, without drama, without rejecting experience. Simply refuse to define yourself by it. Then ask, what remains? What remains is being consciousness, the pure, indivisible, eternal I am. When all that is accessory falls away, when the mind quiets and the ego withdraws, the real presence appears, the one that cannot be harmed or aged, that cannot be offended or boastful. There resides power, peace, and freedom. Do not turn this practice into neurosis. Do not hate your personality, despise the body, or reject emotion. You may function as John or Mary. You may love, work, serve, laugh, and cry. But do not believe you are only that. The actor is not confused with the role. The musician does not forget the instrument. Likewise, do not confuse yourself with the mask. Allow human experience to exist, but never crown it as queen. Use each role, each relationship, each moment as a means of expression for the being, never as a prison. Empty first, then fill. A cup full of clay cannot receive pure water. A mind full of lies cannot hold the truth. Empty yourself, deny what you are not, and life will fill you with what you truly are. Practice this. Each day for 30 days, choose a limited identity you have believed and affirm the scientific consciousness. I am not my fear. I am not my mistakes. I am not my past. I am not my pain. I am not the opinions of others. After each negation, affirm, I am free. I am pure consciousness. I am a child of God. Write the story of who you thought you were, and at the end, write who you truly are. I am not what the world said of me. I am not what pain made me believe. I am not what my mistakes dictated. I am an expression of life, intelligence of the principle, spark of love. I am that which remains when all else is gone. Feel the stillness, the freedom, the peace of not having to hold any mask. There and only there, true creation begins. Do not fear dismantling old beliefs. Do not fear the void. That void is the matrix of all birth. Just as the grain of wheat must die to bear fruit, so your limited identity must fall for the Christ within you to arise. Close this chapter with this simple and liberating prayer. Father, I free myself today from false identities. I deny the ego's power over my consciousness. I recognize the pure I am within me. I empty my mind of all lies and receive the truth. So it is. So it shall be. Live in freedom. Use names, roles, titles, but do not enslave yourself to any. You may function as John or Mary, but always remember, you are not John, nor are you Mary. You are, have been, and will always be, I am. And in that recognition lies all freedom. Chapter 4, the 7 great I am statements. In the scriptures, there are moments when the veil of words is lifted and the voice of the Spirit is heard directly, without ambiguity or shadow. These are the moments when Jesus pronounces the great declarations. I am not as a limited man, but as a representative of universal consciousness, of the one principle, of the being that recognizes itself in every soul. There is no blasphemy here, only revelation, no illegitimate appropriation, only a courageous acknowledgement of essential truth. Each of these statements is a pillar of divine identity, a mirror in which every person can see themselves, not as a reflection distorted by history, culture, or fear, but as they truly are. To accept and meditate on each I am is not an act of arrogance, but of supreme humility. It is recognizing that the spark of the eternal lives within us, that the inner Christ is not a privilege for one, but an inheritance for all. Pause and consider the power of each declaration. Do not repeat them as empty formulas, but as keys that unlock the inner chambers of the soul. Each I am of Jesus in the Gospel of John is a doorway to spiritual powers that have remained dormant in your consciousness, waiting for the call. I am the light of the world. Light does not fight darkness, it simply shines and darkness dissolves. I am the light of the world means recognizing clarity, intelligence, and guidance within your consciousness. Light is spiritual understanding, discernment, a vision that transcends appearance. When you accept this, your mind becomes a lamp lit from within. Problems are seen from a new perspective. Confusion cannot withstand the presence of inner light. Declare it each morning, I am the light of the world. Wherever you go, confusion yields, truth shines, vision is clarified. Feel clarity arise within you. All darkness yields to the light of I am. I am the bread of life. Bread is substance, nourishment, daily provision. When Jesus declares, I am the bread of life, he reveals that true provision does not come from the external world, but from the inexhaustible inner source. Material bread symbolizes all that seems lacking: health, resources, companionship, joy. The I am in you is the substance itself, the invisible abundance, the inexhaustible spring. When you feel lack, affirm, I am the bread of life. All I need flows from my inner source. No hunger exists that the principle cannot satisfy, no emptiness that spiritual substance cannot fill. Live from fullness, and life will respond. I am the door. A door opens, a door closes. I am the door means that in your consciousness lies access to all possibilities. No situation can truly confine you. No obstacle is final, because the door of I am always remains open to new paths, new ideas, new solutions. No one can close it except yourself, by believing in limitation. When the world tells you there is no way, respond with authority. I am the door. There is always a way. There is always access to good. Feel the freedom of knowing no circumstance can truly imprison you. I am the good shepherd. The shepherd guides, protects, and cares. This affirmation reveals the inner guide, the loving wisdom that dwells in every being. You do not depend on others' opinions, nor walk alone in darkness. I am the good shepherd means recognizing the inner voice, the right sense, the infallible counsel of divine wisdom within you. In times of doubt or fear, affirm, I am the good shepherd. I always receive perfect guidance. I am safe, protected, and directed from within. Rest in the certainty of your inner guidance. I am the resurrection and the life. This is the declaration of renewing power. I am the resurrection and the life means that in every moment you can leave behind the past, defeat and sorrow, and begin anew. No situation is irreparable, no failure final. The principle of life within you can raise what has fallen, restore what is lost, renew what has withered. When you feel despair or fatigue, proclaim, I am the resurrection and the life. All within me is renewed. I can rise, I can begin again, live each day as an opportunity for resurrection. I am the way, the truth, and the life. This affirmation integrates all the previous ones: path, direction, truth, understanding, life, energy, and fullness. The I am within you is the compass that never fails, the truth that never deceives, the life that never perishes. Do not seek outside what you can only find at the center of your consciousness. In moments of doubt or disorientation, affirm, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I have direction. I understand the truth. I express abundant life. I am the true vine, and the vine is root, source, connection. I am the true vine means that you are a branch of an infinite source of provision and power. There is no real separation, no real lack. All good flows from the source through you. When fear of loss or isolation arises, repeat, I am the true vine. I am united with the inexhaustible source of good. All I need comes to my life perfectly and in due time. Do not think these affirmations can only be spoken by a man who lived 2,000 years ago. Jesus did not speak for himself, but so that each one could recognize the I am in their own consciousness. Make them yours, meditate on them, adapt them, but do not trivialize or repeat them mechanically. Each is a living seed, ready to germinate in your life. Create a 7-week program. Each week focus on one of these declarations. In the morning, upon waking, affirm it. During the day, recall its meaning. At night, review how it manifested in your experience. Ask yourself, which area of my life does this affirmation transform? How would my story change if I lived from this truth? Perform the following spiritual exercise. I recognize the I am within me. I claim the light, the substance, the door, the guidance, the renewal, the direction, and the source. I unite with the principle and allow each declaration to transform my consciousness and my life. So it is. Write your own affirmations based on these principles. For example, I am clarity in every thought. I am unlimited provision in every need. I am openness and opportunity where once I saw closed doors. I am sure guidance in every decision. I am renewal in every cell, in every idea. I am perfect orientation and constant fullness. I am an inexhaustible source of love, peace, and joy. Contemplate how your life would be if you lived each day from light, substance, freedom, guidance, renewal, truth, and source, not as dogma, but as living experience. By living this way, every shadow flees, every door opens, every provision arrives, every guidance is revealed, every life is renewed. This is the gift of I am. This is the kingdom that has always been within you. Close this chapter with this prayer. Father, principle of life, I follow my consciousness with the 7 I am statements. I leave ignorance, lack, and separation behind. I unite with your light, provision, guidance, renewing power, truth, and source. I live as what I truly am, your child, your expression, your manifestation. So it is, so it shall be. Live the 7 great affirmations and discover the miracle of being here and now. The I am incarnate. Chapter 5. Refrain from using the name in vain. The 3rd revealed commandment. There are words that have been repeated so often that their original meaning seems lost in the fog of time. Among the 10 commandments given to Moses, there is one that has been feared, ignored, misunderstood, and trivialized. You shall not take the name of Jehovah your God in vain. How often it has echoed in churches, synagogues, and homes as a warning against vulgar blasphemy, insult, or contempt. Yet behind this superficial interpretation lies one of the most profound and liberating secrets ever given to humanity. Listen carefully, awakened soul. The 3rd commandment is not a rule to repress coarse language, nor a mere call for external reverence. It is a warning, a living reminder of the deepest spiritual law. Never use the holy name to declare falsehood, limitation, emptiness, or error. Never place the seal of I am on anything that denies your divine identity. Vain means for nothing, empty of reality, without value, false. Each time you say, think, or feel, I am weak, I am sick, I am poor, I am alone, I am unworthy, you are taking the name of God in vain. It does not matter if you do not say it on an altar or in a formal prayer. The altar is your consciousness, and the prayer is every word you utter with your mouth or mind. Meditate on the seriousness of this. This is not merely sin in the traditional sense, it is a direct programming of your life. The 3rd commandment governs the subconscious mind. Whatever you declare with the name, life takes as your desire, plants in your inner field, and harvests as experience. Consider why the ancient lawgivers, inspired by spirit, gave such importance to this warning. Because they knew the name is the creative formula. Using it in vain is to sow weeds where you should sow wheat. It is to program failure and then blame God, fate, or others. This is the root of so much slavery, of so much suffering. Generations have violated this commandment, not with insults or irreverent exclamations, but with daily confessions of misery, fear, and defeat. Mothers repeating, I am a poor woman. Fathers saying, I am useless. Children learning to say, I am incapable, I am stupid, I am ugly. And the law responds, for every idle word men shall speak, they will give account of it. Matthew 12:36. The spiritual gravity of this commandment surpasses any traditional verbal blasphemy. It is more harmful to declare, I am limited, than to utter a curse. The universe does not react to human insult. It responds to the creative decree. Every time the name joins with a lie, that lie takes form in your life. Every time the name joins with truth, truth flourishes. Therefore, the urgent and sacred task is to examine with absolute honesty how you have taken the name in vain. Perform a conscientious review. Recall every phrase in which you have said, I am incapable, I am too old, I am always sick, I am clumsy, I am unhappy, I am my past, I am what others say I am. Make a list, if you can, of at least 50 common ways people unknowingly violate this commandment. You will see that most of your negative thoughts and words are actually irresponsible uses of the creative power. Do you realize the potential you have wasted? It is vital. Now stop the cycle. Ask your own soul for forgiveness for unconscious misuse of the name. Forgiveness here is not self-pity, but a decree of freedom. Renounce the false use of the name. Cancel every decree of limitation. Claim the truth of your being. Do this each time you catch yourself saying, I am, followed by a limitation. Stop, correct, and affirm instead, I am life. I am intelligence. I am abundance. Do not allow a dark phrase to remain unbalanced. Train your loved ones, your friends, your children to do the same. Together, transform the atmosphere of your home, your work, your daily life. Help each other detect violations, not with judgment, but with compassion and spiritual discipline. If possible, establish a sacred commitment. I commit before God and myself to honor the name, using it only to declare truth. I will never again place the seal of I am on falsehood, fear, or error. My mouth, my mind, and my heart will be guardians of this power. Write it down if you wish. Read it daily. The mind, like the earth, is programmed through conscious repetition. Watch over the gateway of your lips and the workshop of your mind with humility and persistence. Do not allow a single declaration of I am to pass that is not worthy of the principle it represents. If you fall, rise. If you forget, remember. What matters is not punishment, but direction. Every time you honor the name, every time you say I am and declare life, light, love, abundance, you restore the commandment in your own flesh, in your own history. Pray, Father, I recognize that I have used the name in vain, through ignorance, habit, and fear. Today I release every idle word, every false decree, every confession of limitation. I declare that I use the name only for truth, life, and good. I renew my covenant with you and with the principle that gave me being. So it is, so it shall be. Affirm frequently, I use the name only for truth. My word is a seed of light. The holy name creates in me and through me only that which is worthy of God. This truth is painful. It is the wound that heals. It is the pain that liberates. Better a moment of discomfort than a lifetime of self-imposed slavery. The third commandment is not a threat, but a loving warning. It is the key to stop being a victim and become a conscious creator. It is the voice of truth calling you out of Egypt and into the promised land of I am. It is not too late to begin. The name waits for you, truth calls you, and the universe, always just, always faithful, will respond to your new decree. Do not take the name in vain any longer. Declare life, and life will respond. Chapter 6. Litanies of Divine Identity, Prayers of the True Self. We arrive at the heart of the practice. Every spiritual truth must be lived, and to live it, it must be affirmed, repeated, engraved in the soul. The human mind, by nature, is a field of habits, and every habit is a seed repeated. If for years you have repeated negative litanies, I am weak, I am poor, I am unworthy, without noticing it, it is now essential to sow seeds of truth with the same constancy. The litany of identity is the plough that prepares the soil, the rain that fertilizes, the light that dissolves the shadow. But what is a litany of identity? It is a series of statements pronounced with rhythm and awareness, designed to establish deep in the subconscious the truth of your being. It is not superstitious prayer nor mechanical repetition. It is the conscious, systematic, and joyful affirmation of your divine identity. This is not an attempt to convince God, but to remind your own mind who you really are, beyond experience, error, fear, or history. Here we must distinguish between positive affirmation and recognition of truth. A positive affirmation attempts to generate a feeling, often struggling against doubt. I am happy, I am capable, I am valuable. Recognition of truth, however, does not ask, hope, or strain. It simply declares what is from the beginning, even if appearances suggest otherwise. I am life, I am health, I am abundance, I am a child of God. These are not aspirations or desires, but proclamations of reality, like light that simply shines. The power of conscious repetition is immense, not because each word has magical power, but because the subconscious learns through insistence. Just as you learn to doubt yourself through repeated limiting messages, so can you remember your truth through repeated divine decrees. The key is presence. Repeat with awareness, with meaning, with love, not like a parrot imitating sounds, but like an artist shaping marble, knowing what they want to reveal. You can create personalized litanies without losing effectiveness. The only requirement is that the statements be true, positive, inclusive, direct, always in the present, always from I am. Do not use the future, I will be, I shall, nor conditional forms like I would like, I hope. Your soul understands the language of certainty. Let us begin with the Master I Am Litany. Memorize it, repeat it each morning and evening. Feel its truth in every cell. I am the light of the world. I am the wisdom of God in action. I am perfect health. I am peace that surpasses all understanding. I am unlimited abundance. I am love in every relationship, and I am the divine presence here and now. You can create a short emergency litany for moments of confusion or fear. I am strength. I am clarity. I am secure guidance. I am victory here and now. Or litanies for different needs, and for health, and I am perfect health. I am divine energy renewing every cell. I am the life of God manifesting in me. I am total restoration. For prosperity, I am abundant provision. I am spiritual and material wealth flowing into my life. I am the source, never lack. I am perfect circulation of blessings. For relationships, I am pure love. I am deep understanding, and I am harmony in every encounter. I am unity with all beings. For peace, I am unmoving peace in every storm. I am profound serenity in every thought. I am calm where there was conflict, and I am fruitful silence. For guidance, I am wisdom acting here and now. I am clear direction in every step. I am infallible intuition. I am illuminated vision. The metaphysical rosary is the practice of repeating your favorite litany word by word, counting on your fingers with beads, or simply with your breath. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and repeat each phrase slowly, letting the vibration penetrate your subconscious. Do not rush. Do not seek immediate results. If the mind wanders, return with patience and gentleness. Each repetition is a hammer blow against the wall of ignorance. For deep transformation, dedicate 30 minutes to the spiritual treatment of identity. Sit alone, breathe deeply, and go through your full litany, pausing on each phrase until you feel it alive, real, acting. It is not about quantity, but the quality of presence. If you do this daily for a month, you will notice subtle, then obvious changes in your thinking, mood, and circumstances. Not because the words are magical, but because the soul finally remembers. Evening practice holds great power. Before sleep, repeat your litany quietly or mentally, allowing the last impression of the day to be truth. While you sleep, the subconscious works silently, restructuring your inner world. In a crisis, turn to your emergency litany, speaking each phrase with the authority of one who remembers their divine lineage. And above all, learn to create your own litanies. What do you need to affirm today? What aspect of your being calls for recognition? Take a sheet of paper and write present tense, I am statements addressing your need. I am resilience in every trial. I am indestructible joy. I am compassion in every gesture. I am creativity flowing freely. Do not fear repetition. Conscious repetition engraves truth. Empty repetition merely bores. If a phrase loses meaning, change it. Make every word an act of creation. Remember, there are no magic formulas. The power is in the consciousness that holds the word, in the recognition that what you declare already is, even if you do not yet see it in form. Just as a child learns a language by hearing and repeating, your soul learns to recognize itself as a child of God, by hearing and repeating the truth. Close this chapter with this universal litany. I am what God is, and I am peace, life, abundance, love, health, wisdom, joy. I am the active presence of God here and now. I am, I am, I am. Repeat, feel, live, and the miracle of true identity will become flesh in you. So it is, so it shall be. Chapter 7. Speaking from the Divine Center, the Art of Conscious Communication. In life, words are not mere sounds. Every sentence is a seed, every statement a decree, every conversation an act of creation. There is no moment more sacred than when you open your mouth, because in that instant your consciousness becomes action. Your mind becomes the world. Speaking from the I Am is not merely reciting affirmations. It is allowing everything you say to emanate from the divine center of your being, not from the small, limited ego. What is the difference between speaking from the ego and speaking from the I Am? The ego speaks to defend, attack, justify, complain, or impose. The ego wants to be right, seeks approval, fears disapproval, and protects itself from criticism. Its words are reactive, arising from insecurity, fear, anger, or the desire to control and manipulate. Speaking from the I Am, on the other hand, is speaking from deep truth, inner peace, and connection with the principle. One who speaks from the divine center does not seek to impress or control. They simply express what is necessary, true, and beneficial. Tone, intention, energy, all change. The words of the I Am build, bless, illuminate, and bring clarity. They never wound, never diminish, never poison. The level of consciousness from which you speak determines the power of your words. A phrase spoken from fear can be lethal. The same phrase spoken from understanding and love can heal. The secret is to pause, feel, and ask, from where does this word arise? Who is speaking in me, the fear or the I am, the wound or the principle? Pausing before speaking is the first act of spiritual mastery. The conscious pause is the gateway to the center. If you sense that what you are about to say comes from anger, impatience, or the desire to hurt, remain silent. Silence is preferable to any word born outside the I am. There is no greater power than knowing how to remain quiet when the ego clamors to speak. In the pause, breathe and connect with the I am. Ask yourself, does what I am about to say bless, clarify, build, or merely discharge my bitterness, fear, or frustration? If you cannot speak from the center, wait until you can. Transform complaints into conscious declarations. Complaints perpetuate the unwanted situation. Conscious declarations transform it. Where the ego would say, I am always unlucky, the I am declares, I am guided toward the highest good, even when I do not yet see it clearly. Where the ego cries, I am surrounded by difficult people, the I am affirms, I am understanding in every relationship. Peace surrounds me and flows through me. The difference is not merely in words, but in consciousness. A mind trained to speak from the center uplifts everyone, not just itself. Arguing from the ego never resolves anything. Two egos facing off only know how to clash, seeking to dominate, convince, or win. The I am, however, does not argue. It speaks with serenity, sets boundaries with respect, and can withdraw without losing its center. Speaking truth does not mean attacking. Establishing boundaries does not require aggression. The I am knows how to say no from clarity, never from hostility. There is enormous power in speaking blessings instead of criticism. When tempted to judge, denigrate, or destroy with words, consciously transmute it. Internally declare, I am blessing here and now. If possible, speak a kind word. Point out a virtue, ignite hope. A heart that blesses even in silence transforms the atmosphere. A word of blessing spoken amidst difficulty is a seed of a miracle. Practice the pause before speaking. Before responding, ask, from where does this word come? From the ego or from the I am? If it is from the ego, wait. If it is from the I am, it will express itself without fear. Exercise for transformation. Take 10 common ego-driven phrases and convert them into speech from the I am. Ego, I can't take this anymore. I am renewed strength in every moment. Ego, nobody understands me. I am understanding and attract understanding. Ego, I always make mistakes. I am constant learning, always guided. Do this transformation with your own phrases. Notice the change in your mood and the environment you create. Before a difficult conversation, perform an inner treatment. I am peace, I am clarity, I am understanding. Every word you speak will come from the divine center. Speak only what is necessary, useful, and good. Visualize the encounter surrounded by light and allow the presence to act through you. Practice minimal speech. Say only what is necessary and only from the center. The I am does not need to explain, justify, exaggerate, or impress. Learn the art of fruitful silence and make every word count. Listen to others not to judge, but to detect where they speak from. Observe without criticism, with compassion, remembering that everyone is learning to recognize themselves in the I am. Make a 24-hour commitment. Speak only from elevated consciousness for a full day. If you fall into the old habit, begin again without guilt. At the end of the day, review. How much of what I said came from the ego? How much from the I am? Give thanks for every victory. Learn from every stumble. Affirmations for divine communication. I am a conscious, creative word. I am a voice of blessing, never of criticism. I am the expression of the principle in every conversation. I am clarity, understanding, and peace in my speech. Remember, everything you say, speak as a representative of the holy name. Every word is a seed, every seed bears fruit. The art of speaking from the center is in truth the art of creating your world. It is not about being perfect, but about being conscious. Speak from the I am and watch how your environment, relationships, and your own heart transform. Conscious communication is the bridge between heaven and earth, between your soul and the world. Make the I am the source of every word, and your entire life will become a blessing. So it is, so it shall be. Chapter 8, I am and there is no other, eliminating duality. Stop and listen to the oldest and deepest cry of the human soul, the thirst for unity, the longing for oneness. Since the dawn of humanity, human beings have sensed, at times with fear, at times with awe, that there is a single principle, a common root, a life that sustains all lives. But the mind, trapped in the game of separation, has invented the most widespread heresy, the belief in many separate I-ams, in countless isolated wills, in millions of disconnected centers. This is where suffering is born. This is where exile begins. Let me reveal to you the greatest secret, the axis around which all spiritual truth revolves. There is only one real I am in the universe. All people, all beings, all creatures are expressions of the same life, manifestations of the same consciousness, sparks of the same light. There are no multiple separate existences, only a single existence observing itself through infinite faces. Separation is impossible in the divine I am. What you call my life, my consciousness, my identity, is merely a wave in the vast ocean of the one life, like water forming a wave for an instant, yet never ceasing to be the ocean. Your personality, history, and form are the wave. But the I am is the ocean that sustains, penetrates, and transcends every wave. The wisdom of Israel proclaimed it. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This is not a theological dogma, but a metaphysical law. The I am that animates you is no different from the I am in your neighbor, your brother, your enemy, in every living being. It is the same breath, the same presence, the same spirit. When you affirm I am, you speak with the voice of the eternal. When your brother affirms I am, it is the same voice. Only the divided mind, the ego, can imagine that many I ams are struggling, competing, fearing one another. The ego creates the illusion of separation because it is based on fear, fear of loss, fear of annihilation, fear of loneliness. It builds walls, rigid identities, and cultivates differences. But all of this is illusion. The wave can never separate from the ocean. The sunbeam can never leave the sun. Imagine for a moment what would happen if you recognize that the I am in you is exactly the same I am in everyone else. Could you hate someone? Could you judge, condemn, despise, or harm? Hatred and judgment exist only because the ego defends a separate identity. But if you see the other as yourself, if you recognize the principle in every face, compassion arises naturally, forgiveness becomes effortless, and love becomes the law of your life. This is not vague pantheism, nor does it dissolve individuality. Personality, gifts, and nuances remain. The rose is not the jasmine, the river is not the mountain. But all participate in the same life. All share the same I am. Unity does not cancel diversity, it embraces and enriches it. Meditation on unity is sit in silence. Close your eyes and slowly repeat I am, I am, I am. Feel that this presence is not limited by your skin, your name, or your history. Extend it mentally to your family, friends, acquaintances, strangers, even to those you consider adversaries. Feel that the same I am pulses in everyone, like sap in every branch of the tree. Exercise of vision. When you look at any person, recognize in their eyes, in their breathing, in their being, the same principle that lives in you. Repeat mentally, the I am that looks through these eyes is the same I am that looks through theirs. If there is a difficult relationship, enmity or old wound, do the radical exercise. Imagine that person surrounded by light and repeat, the I am in me is the I am in you. There is no separation in the spirit. Practice this until hardness dissolves, until compassion arises naturally. When you feel loneliness or isolation, repeat, the I am in me is universal. I am united with all life. There is no place where the I am is not. Contemplate how many I ams there could be. There may appear to be many, but reflect until you feel inner certainty. There is only one, eternal, indivisible, universal. Affirmations of unity. The I am in me is the same as in all. The I am unites me, it does not separate me. The I am is one expressed through many faces. Take this understanding into daily life. Whenever the temptation to judge or exclude arises, remember, there is only one. Whenever you experience joy, remember, it is the joy of the one manifesting here and now. This awareness of unity is the supreme remedy for all human suffering. Exile ends, war ceases, Fear disappears when you recognize the truth. I am, and there is no other. Closing prayer. Father, I release the illusion of separation. I recognize that there is only one eternal and universal I am, expressing itself in all beings. I renounce judgment, hatred, and fear. I embrace unity and allow your love to unite me with all that is. So it is. So it shall be. Thus, duality dissolves and oneness shines. The ocean and the wave are one. The I am in you is the I am in all, and in that awareness, there can only be peace. Chapter 9, Redeeming the Past. I am in the present moment. For many, the past is an invisible prison. It attracts, conditions, limits. Like a shadow projected on the mind, yesterday stands between a person and the new life. How often have you heard or spoken phrases like, I was hurt, I was poor, I was guilty, I was abandoned, I failed? Repeated enough, these words seem to seal destiny. But today I proclaim with the full authority of the principle, no past story can bind the present I am unless you give it that power. The I am has no past. It exists only in the eternal present. When Moses asked the principle its name, the answer was not, I was nor I will be. It was, I am that I am. Being is now, always now. Every declaration of I am establishes a living, active, operative fact. If you drag the weight of the past into your declaration of today, you reactivate it, keeping it alive in your inner world, and the universe, ever obedient, simply reflects it in your circumstances. Here lies the secret. No experience, no matter how painful or brilliant, has real power over your present life unless you choose to carry it into your I am. The past can inform, teach, and move you, but it must not define you. The difference between remembering the past and living from the past is vast. Remembering allows you to learn, grow, and cultivate compassion. Living from the past is allowing yesterday's ashes or mud to mold today's clay. Here lies the subtlest trap. I am someone who was hurt. I am someone who lost. I am someone who sinned. The language of resignation, the weight of old wounds, an identity constructed from history, drama, and suffering. Do you not see that it is only a mental habit? Do not deny the facts. Do not minimize the pain, but release identification. The I am is not the sum of what has been lived. It is the principle, always fresh, always new, always free. No one can take this freedom from you except yourself. No one can keep you bound to the past except your own inner acceptance. The technique of redemption is simple, radical, infallible. Release every identity based on history. If necessary, write it down. Take a sheet of paper and record without censorship. I was hurt. I was abandoned. I was addicted. I was guilty. I failed. Write it all without fear or shame, then declare, this is past. I no longer bring it into the present. I am now here. I am free, new, clean. I am the principle in action right now. Burn this paper, bury it, perform a symbolic act of liberation. Understand that real forgiveness is impossible while you remain identified with the old identity. To forgive is not to forget the event, but to release the mask of who you were and assume the present I am. Only then can life be renewed. Practice responding to every evocation of the past by adding, but I am present now. Do you remember when I was abandoned? Yes, I remember, but I am strength now. I was betrayed. That was then, but I am love and trust now. Now make affirmations of temporal freedom. My past does not define my I am. Yesterday's mistake does not limit today's life. Guilt and fear have no power in my present. Meditate in the eternal present. Sit in silence and feel your being. Notice that beyond thoughts, memories, and stories, the only reality is this moment, this living presence. The I am is now. Breathe in the now, shine in the now. Exercise of rewriting. Take a story that has marked you negatively and rewrite it from the I am. For example, if you were rejected in the past, declare, at that time I experienced rejection, but today I recognize that I am acceptance, I am love, I am wholeness. My story is no longer condemnation, but a stepping stone. Make a declaration of emancipation. I release all historical identities. I renounce being who I was to become who I am. The past is not my master. The present I am is my only true name. Remember, this is not about denying past pain or covering wounds with superficial optimism. It is recognizing with compassion that identification with history is a form of voluntary slavery. True freedom arises by declaring with full consciousness that the I Am is always now. The past then loses its power. Closing prayer of redemption. Father, Principle of Life, I release now all past, all wounds, all guilt, all old identities. I receive the present as a gift, as rebirth, as opportunity. I am free from yesterday. I am new life here and now, so it is, so it shall be. Live, therefore, in the now. The I Am has no past. Life always begins in this instant, and in each instant you can choose freedom. Chapter 10, Creating the Future with the Name Conscious Manifestation. The holy name, when pronounced with understanding, not only redeems the past and illuminates the present, but also creates the future. There is no greater power in the universe than affirming your true identity here and now, knowing that by doing so you plant the seed of the experience yet to come. This is the supreme art of manifestation, the highest mental science, the deliberate use of the I Am to shape the invisible, to call into existence that which has not yet been seen. Observe carefully. The future is not created through desire or longing. It is not enough to say, I want to be, I wish, someday I will achieve. All these phrases keep your good on the horizon, always distant, always postponed. The I Am is the only real bridge between the present and the future, because it brings what is desired into the now, affirms it as a fact, and calls it from the realm of possibility into the realm of manifestation. Why is this so? Because the divine principle only knows the eternal present. There is no maybe or will be for God, nor for the law of mind. When you affirm I am, even if your common sense protests and circumstances seem to deny it, you begin to shape mental substance in the direction of what you have declared. For example, when you say I am perfect health, the universe, your body, your subconscious, and the entire internal and external nature begin to organize in response to that decree. The difference between I want to be and I am is the difference between impotent desire and creative action. Desire is the beginning, but only recognition moves the law. The technique of the quantum leap is this: do not declare what you long for as something in the future, but as a present fact in your identity. If you desire peace, do not say, I will be peaceful or I want peace. Say, I am peace. If you seek prosperity, do not say, I will have abundance someday. Affirm, I am abundance here and now. If you seek healing, do not say, I will be healed. Say, I am health. Being I will be has little power because it postpones reality. The I am creates instantly in the mind. And although external manifestation may require time because the physical plane obeys its own rhythms, the reality is already sown and the harvest is certain. Here lies a danger. Using this power for ego enlargement, for seeking material satisfaction or control over others. The I am must be pronounced from a spirit aligned with divine will. If you only seek to affirm superficial things, your result will be ephemeral, unsatisfying, and may even turn against you. Therefore, before declaring, ask yourself, does this affirmation honor the truth within me? Does it serve the greater good? Is it a reflection of my inner Christ or a fantasy of the ego? To align your personal desires with divine will, sit in silence before affirming. Ask deeply, is this for my highest good and the good of all? If you feel peace, if you feel calm joy, you may proceed with your declaration. If you feel restlessness, ambition, or pride, pause and purify your desire before planting it. Remember, manifestation in the physical plane requires patience. Although in mind and spirit the I am operates instantly, the external world may need time, adjustments, and processes. Do not despair. Affirm your good and release it, trusting the law. Do not dig up the seed you have planted. Do not check prematurely to see if it sprouts. Affirm, give thanks, and wait with serenity. Here is a practical formula for conscious manifestation with the I am in 5 steps. Clarity. Clearly define what you wish to manifest. Ask yourself if it honors your eternal Christ, if it builds, if it is worthy of the name. Affirmation. Formulate your declaration in the present beginning with I am. Be direct, concise, positive. Feel yourself already in possession of what you affirm. Enter the sensation. Live mentally as if it were already real. Act in accordance with your declaration. If you have affirmed peace, maintain peace in your actions. If you have affirmed abundance, share, trust, sow generosity. Surrender, release anxiety. Trust that the principle takes care of the details and timing. Repeat your affirmation with faith, without forcing or doubting. Make a list of I am declarations for common areas of need. I am perfect health. I am unshakable peace. I am unlimited provision. I am wisdom in every decision. I am love expressing and receiving. I am success in my divine purpose. And each morning and evening, take your most vital declaration and repeat it slowly, feeling it in your heart and mind. Visualize, if possible, not a distant future, but the present state of your already realized identity. Perform a spiritual treatment of conscious manifestation. Divine principle, I recognize in myself the power of the holy name. I declare in this instant, I am. I declare my good. I allow this truth to imprint my mind, body, and circumstances. I act, I feel, and I trust that the universe responds to my words. So it is, so it shall be. Train yourself in the art of entering the sensation of the declared I am. If you affirm peace, feel it in your breath. If you affirm health, feel it in your limbs, in your energy. Do not repeat words as empty echoes. Live them as inner reality. Learn to detect when you are creating from the ego and when from divine guidance. The ego seeks to shine, possess, stand out. The I am seeks only to express what already is in essence: health, peace, love, abundance. If in doubt, perform a meditation of alignment. Does this declaration serve the I am or the ego? Does it arise from fear, lack, or pride, or from faith and love? Remember, the most powerful I am declarations are those that recognize spiritual truth. If you seek first the kingdom of God, harmony, truth, and the greater good, all else will be added. Close this chapter with the affirmation, I am the conscious creator of my life. I am aligned with divine will. I am the manifestation of truth here and now. Nothing separates me from my good, so it is, so it shall be. Declare, feel, trust, and act. The future is a fertile field. The name is the seed. You will harvest exactly what you have affirmed. This is the mystery. This is the privilege. This is the duty of every child of God. Chapter 11, The Name in Silence, the Practice of Pure I Am. We now arrive at the summit, the most subtle and powerful art, the living core of practical spirituality, the encounter with the pure I am, without adjectives, without additions, without requests or demands. Many have intuited this path, few have truly walked it, and yet it is the supreme key, the highest prayer, the meditation that transforms everything. Here there is no magic, no superstition. Here mental science meets the deepest truth of the soul. We must begin by distinguishing between I am followed by qualities, health, peace, abundance, light, and the I am alone, without any modifier. When you affirm I am health, I am peace, you plant valuable seeds in your consciousness, shape your experience, transform your environment. It is an essential practice, yet it still belongs to the mind, to form, to desire. When you simply pronounce I am, you enter the secret chamber of being, beyond attributes, beyond any image, beyond even the need to change anything. Here, the soul does not ask. It simply is. And that being is the most powerful prayer because it does not affirm anything about what already exists, but surrenders completely to the pure experience of being itself. The practice is simple in form, profound in effect. You need no temple, no special clothing, no incense, no ritual, just a chair, a quiet corner, 20 minutes daily, and a willing heart. Sit, close your eyes, breathe slowly. Let the word I am fall upon your mind, I am. Do not think about its meaning. Do not add requests. Do not visualize or try to correct. Just repeat it internally like a soft heartbeat. Let the name resonate deeply like a bell in the temple of silence. At first, the mind will resist. Thoughts, emotions, and the temptation to add, I am this, I am that, will arise. Do not struggle. Observe with compassion and return to the name. I am, I am. Do not seek immediate results. Like rain falling on dry earth, the pure name penetrates, softens, opens invisible furrows. If the mind wanders, greet it gently, like the return of a prodigal child, without guilt. The practice is the constant return to the center, not the attainment of unreachable perfection. What happens when the mind immerses in the I am without modifiers? An extraordinary peace descends. Time stops. Boundaries between self and world vanish. There is neither lack nor excess. The experience of being without definition is the greatest rest, the greatest joy, the greatest freedom. You discover without words that you exist prior to any name, prior to all history, prior to all longing. Here the ego dissolves, not by violence but by lack of nourishment. Without images, comparisons, or desires, the ego retracts, and what remains is divine nature, presence, the principle itself expressing as your existence. This practice is not a modern invention. All mystics in every era have known the power of the name in silence. Call it the prayer of stillness, contemplation, meditation, centering. All paths lead here. It is not the exclusive property of monasteries or distant enlightened beings. The office worker, the homemaker, the elder, the child, all can and should sit with the name. Here is a simple guide for practice. Choose a time of day, preferably upon waking or before sleeping. Sit comfortably with a straight back, feet on the floor, hands in your lap. Close your eyes and bring attention to your breath. Inhale, think I. Exhale, am. Add nothing. If thoughts arise, let them pass. Remain for 20 minutes or as long as you can without forcing, without judgment. You may, if desired, do a progressive meditation. Begin by affirming qualities. I am light. I am peace. And gradually release the adjectives until you remain with the I am alone. Let even the verbal echo fade, leaving only the experience of being. If the mind wanders, return gently to the breath, to the heartbeat of the name. It does not matter how many times you lose focus. What matters is that you always return. For those seeking a deeper experience, dedicate an entire day, a small personal retreat, to the practice of the I am. Turn off distractions, maintain silence, sit with the name at regular intervals. Carry the sensation of being into all activities, walking, eating, gazing at the sky. Whenever the impulse arises to define yourself, defend yourself, or compare yourself, return to the center. The integration of this experience into daily life is the final step. It is not about remaining in the quiet of a room, but bringing the peace, clarity, and certainty of the pure I am to every thought, every word, every action. If conflict arises, if doubts or fears assault you, remember the practice, and in an instant return to the root. I am. There, every problem loses its force, every anxiety dissolves, every egoic lie vanishes. Do not seek extraordinary experiences. The greatest miracle is to discover that you simply are, without anything to fix. This is true rest, an oasis in the midst of the world, the secret of power and peace. No one can practice for you. No one can take the fruit from you. Close this chapter with a silent prayer. Father, I surrender now to the pure experience of being. I leave behind forms, desires, definitions. I rest in the name. I am here and now. So it is, so it shall be. Thus the whole of life is illuminated. The name in silence is the prayer that never ceases, the source of all blessing. Claim it, and you will know the mystery and joy of being. Chapter 12. Living as the name life from the divine I am. The goal of all spiritual teaching is a full life. It is not enough to understand the I am in theory, nor to practice it only in the seclusion of prayer or solitude. Truth is consummated only when it descends from the mind to the heart, from the heart to actions, and from actions to every corner of daily existence. Living as the name means embodying, moment by moment, the consciousness of your divine filiation, until no situation, person, or challenge can rob you of the certainty of who you are. What happens when the I am is your constant center? Transformation is total, but not spectacular. You may not see miracles at every corner, nor a life free of challenges. What changes is the axis. Every experience, from the humblest to the most sublime, becomes an opportunity to express the holy name. Fear begins to dissolve because you no longer need to defend a small, fragile identity. Anxiety fades because you no longer seek validation from the world. Your identity is rooted in the eternal. Limitation loses its power because you recognize that the only true obstacle is forgetting your essence. Every action becomes an expression of the name. Upon waking, before moving, remember, I am new life, I am conscious presence, I am here and now. Before any task, large or small, say, I am intelligence in action, I am love serving, I am peace in motion. Even the simplest act becomes a channel for divinity. Work is no longer a burden or mere means of survival. It becomes divine service, a field for expressing creativity, patience, and kindness. Every relationship is seen with new eyes. You see in others the same name, the same spark, the same life. Anger, resentment, impatience dissolve upon recognizing the Christ in all. When challenges arise, and they always will, you no longer ask, "Why me?" nor define yourself by difficulty. Affirm, "This does not define me. I am strength in the test. I am peace in the storm. I am light in the shadow." True freedom is knowing that no circumstance has the power to steal your identity, that nothing external can separate a child of God from its source. Living from the I am does not mean isolating yourself from the world or pretending perfection. It means being radically honest with yourself, seeing your humanity, your emotions, your mistakes, and always remembering that your essence remains intact, incorruptible, indestructible. There is no pride here, only supreme humility. This is not the work of the ego, but of grace. There are testimonies of lives transformed by this practice. Men and women who, upon discovering their true name, regained the joy of living, overcame addictions, healed relationships, found purpose where once there was emptiness. Yet you need not look outside. Your own testimony begins the moment you dare to live, even for minutes, from the divine I am. I offer you a complete life plan from the I am. Upon waking, dedicate 3 minutes to the awareness of your identity. I am life. I am clarity. I am love. Before every activity, remember I am intelligence in action. When fear arises, repeat, I am absolute trust. In moments of fatigue, I am inexhaustible energy. When interacting with others, I am understanding, I am blessing. At day's end, conduct a nightly review. Reflect on your words, actions, thoughts. Ask honestly, did I act from ego or from the I am? No guilt, no judgment, only the desire to grow. Appreciate each moment of awareness and lovingly acknowledge the times you forgot your name. Each day is a workshop, each night an exam and a seed. Conduct a daily check. Have I affirmed the I am in every challenge? Have I seen the I am in others? Have I used my words to create, bless, build? Have I dedicated time to silence, meditation, the prayer of the name? Make a life commitment. I commit before my being, before the principle, to honor the name at all times, to remember in joy and trial that I am what God is. May my life be a living testimony of truth. Declare your complete divine identity. I am a child of God. I am health, abundance, wisdom, love, freedom. I am the channel through which life expresses in the world. I am the holy name made flesh here and now. Nothing and no one can separate me from this truth. I am, I am, I am. Visualize your life as divine existence fully realized. Imagine your days full of purpose, your face serene, your relationships at peace, your work fruitful, your heart grateful. Is this not the kingdom of God on earth? Do not idealize or become impatient. Growth is gradual. Consciousness awakens in moments. Sometimes it falters, sometimes it shines. There is no failure if you keep returning to the center. The final practice is simple. Each night as you lie down, rest in the I am as your only true name. Let your last thought be, I am here. I am now. I am always. Thus it ends, and thus everything begins. You are not who you were yesterday. You are not what others say you are. You are not your triumphs nor your falls. You are the living name. You are active presence. You are the expression of the principle. Every moment of recognition of the true I am is complete liberation, full life, heaven on earth. There is no greater privilege, no greater responsibility. Live as the name, and life will become a hymn of freedom and love. So it is, so it shall be.